I believe there's an opposition that's trying to oppress men right now. And it's happening in so many ways. Suicide rates across every age group of men is through the roof right now. Every age group, every socioeconomic group. That is not by accident. And now more than ever, men are isolated, they are insulated, they are suffering in silence. They feel defeated. They know they want more, but they don't know what more looks like. They don't know if more will seem like they're greedy. Their fire has been put out. Their light has been shut off. And I want to be the one to give you hope again. I want to be the one to let you know that you deserve your kingdom. I want you to be the one to understand that the average man inspires no one. And while the opposition wants you to stay average, to stay dependent, to stay docile, to stay dopey, the average man now is seen as this goofball dope with a dad bod who can't get anything right. That is not who you fucking are. You're an apex predator. You're a man that has fire, that has vision, that has inspiration within you. You've got ideas, you've got creativity, but they have extinguished your hope. They have taken away the hope. And when hope is taken away from man, he is otherwise a dead man. You may have a heartbeat, you may be walking, but you're a dead man walking. In the absence of hope, man is dead. Do you understand that? Because hope is the seed of purpose. And so I want you to understand, my friends, that the average man inspires no one, that you have higher standards and expectations, but you are being told by the opposition that it is toxic, that you should be okay with having the bare minimum, that you should be okay with being broke, you should be okay with just mediocrity. And when was that okay? Let me explain something to you, friends. Once you have awakened, once you have opened your eyes and you realize there is an opposition and that you are being suppressed, you now have the responsibility to do something about it. You can no longer be the victim and say, I am being suppressed by the opposition and therefore I'm a victim. You now go, aha, there's rules to this game. I'm going to figure out and win. I figured it out. Many other people have figured it out. And it's time for you to figure it out. And that starts with you deciding that you are going to embrace hardship, that you have greater potential, that you will always strive for personal excellence in life, that you will not be satisfied with the standards and expectations of average. The average man inspires no one. And when you accept embracing hardship, physically, mentally, emotionally, putting yourself through hardship, training hard, eating right, being disciplined, having life structure, eliminating negative thoughts and people from out of your life, knowing that there is no man on the white horse that's going to gallop in to save the day, that you are the man on the white horse and you're going to gallop in and save your own day. You are the hero in the story. They will not save you. They want you to work a minimum surviving job, a job that will let you just survive at the minimum level, to pay your taxes, to just get by, to be a cog in a wheel. And then they're hoping that you have bought into the fact that somewhere in the distant future, you will get just enough Social Security that you can afford a can of shitty dog food to eat out of every day while renting someone's little bedroom that they've converted from their garage. Fuck that. You are an apex predator. You are a leader. You're a fucking man who deserves a kingdom, but you've got to build it. Your story that you've told yourself doesn't matter anymore. What happened to you as a kid? You were molested, so was I. You were beaten, so was I. You're a foreigner to this country, so was I. English was not your primary language, neither was mine. But that's not the story that I tell myself anymore. It doesn't matter what hardship you've had, that hardship and the fact that you survived it has made you a stronger human. You've got to take that pen back and start rewriting that story. Instead of being a victim who has experienced all these hardships, you have to be the victor who has overcome all these hardships. And now you have to actively look for more hardship. Go to a jujitsu meet, right? Like come do the fucking project. Become part of a band of brothers. Because when you do hard things, you then are fortified and reinforced for the inevitable hardship that life is, because all of life is hardship with brief moments of bliss, my friend. And if you have created a zone of comfort in a world of hardship, you become unstoppable. You become the fucking virus against the virus. You must adopt that mindset. You will not be the victim in life. Once you know that there is oppression by the opposition, and you have woken up, you are fucked. if you don't do anything about it. You've heard that term, ignorance is bliss, right? You've heard that term, ignorance is bliss. And in a way, I believe it is, because people who don't realize that there's consciousness, and then there's like the human animal, and that you are the observer through this human animal vehicle, the body. You are the observer. As consciousness, you are the observer through the windows, the eyes. You observe all of life. This is just a vehicle. You are the observer, and you get to decide what the human animal does. You get to train the human animal. And when you do, that is then you elevate to human being. So once you come to this conclusion and understanding, ignorance is no longer bliss. Now that you know this, and if you try and stay ignorant and you do nothing about elevating yourself to consciousness, to a higher place, guess what happens next? You start feeling anxious. You get depressed. You start feeling overwhelmed. And the reason that happens, my friend, is because once you have awakened to the realities of life, your conscience knocks on your door by saying, hey, you know now that there is consciousness and there is the human animal. There's human being and there's the human animal. And that you are the observer and that you could elevate to your 2.0 level. There are things you can do to elevate, but you're choosing not to. I'm going to remind you by constantly showing up in the form of anxiety, depression, regret, guilt, all those feelings that you can't get rid of. And then what you end up doing is you come to a fork in the road. That fork in the road is either going to be you doing something about it, taking absolute control and responsibility, and actively being a participant in the growth of your higher self, or you take the other fork in the road, which is to escape and to mask what you're feeling, the anxiety, the depression, through alcohol, vape, pornography, TV, food, gambling, weed. You are meant for more. You are a fighter jet, not a crop duster. A crop duster does what the human animal feels like doing. A crop duster follows feelings. A fighter jet follows intention. A fighter jet follows a plan. A fighter jet is a decisive motherfucker. I grew up as a crop duster, friends. I was impulsive. I was reactive. I did what I felt like doing, what my feelings and emotions told me to do, and I was a fat, gelatinous little fuck of a kid. If you want to know what happened to men, it wasn't the opposition. I'm going to tell you what happened to men. I'm going to lead off with this. The day that men stopped re-racking their weights in a fucking gym is when masculinity began to fall. The day that men stopped putting away the weights, even if the weights were on there when you got to that leg press or chest press machine, if you didn't put them away, it's your fault. The day that you stopped putting away the shopping cart and leaving it right there in a fucking parking spot, that's where humanity fell. The day that you started leaving garbage in your car, food wrappers, empty drink containers, that's when the slippery slope of the human animal took hold of you. The day that you began to compromise and negotiate with your goals and dreams is when the erosion of your life began. The day that you gave in and you didn't exercise your willpower on that TV show, on that food item, on making that one extra phone call that you know you should have made, that sales call, that is the day that humanity began to fall apart. It is our fault. All the opposition did is they figured out that we have these weaknesses, that we want comfort, we want convenience, and we will lean into complacency. But I also realize that if I continue to give into my wants and feelings and constantly lean into the conveniences of life, the comforts of life, that I will soon erode and atrophy all of my physical, mental, and emotional muscles that keep me a hard motherfucker. And then when the hardships of life inevitably come, I won't have the mental, physical, and emotional strength and stamina to persevere. This is why I encourage you to do hard shit. This is why you must seek out hard shit. Because life has gotten too convenient. The comforts of convenience of the current lifestyle that we live forces us to seek out discomfort and hardship intentionally so that we can stay prepared for battle. That is why I created the show, to bring unity, to wake you up, to give you hope, to let you know that the feeling that you have in your gut that you deserve more, that you should expect more, that you should want more, higher standards, that is not wrong. That it is okay to make a lot of money and do a lot of good with it. Be good with your money. Be generous with your money and explode your money. Make a lot of it. That is what you feel, right? You're like, I know I'm meant to inspire others. I know I'm meant to help people. Yes, do it. You do that by first helping yourself. Create financial freedom. Create physical freedom. Create mental freedom. Begin to question authority. Become a free thinker. Set high standards. Pay it forward to others. Solve your life's problems yourself. Figure shit out. No one man has the power or control over you ever. Ever. There is no one man that should be put on a pedestal. You are the man that goes on the pedestal. You are the fucking top G, right? You are it. You are the fucking man. What you feel is accurate. What's stopping you is the story that you keep telling yourself, the victimhood that you keep accepting. And that is what this show here is meant to do. It is to help you build your kingdom. It is to help you realize that you are meant to be a good man, not a nice guy, but a good man. You need to be a good man, a savage and a servant. That is a good man, a lion and a lamb, a protector, a provider, a man who wants to build and develop his kingdom, a man who wants to serve his community, a man who is willing to stand in the gap between good and evil, a man who is willing to be a gentleman, who's willing to be chivalrous, a man who can take his daughter out on date night and then tear the fucking heart out of a bad guy in the very next minute. That is a good man. A man who's got a moral and core character values that are true north. A man who is undeniably proud of himself. He is proud of the man that he is. He admires the man that he has become. He continues to do the work to become higher self. I want you to be a good man and not just a nice guy. And if you're willing to do that, then you might be asking me, well, now what, Bedros? Now what? I understand the purpose of this show. I understand that you're here to help us and give us some guidance towards building confidence so that we're no longer imposters. Like, look, man, I felt like an imposter for so long. I remember feeling like an imposter and a hypocrite because I lived my life impulsively, yet I expected the people around me to have their shit together. And I was shocked and offended when they didn't have their shit together. And so then I would get passive aggressive with my employees. I was a nice guy, right? And it wasn't until I started to build my own confidence by stacking an undeniable amount of proof and evidence that I'm a fucking champion. Do the self-work, emotionally, mentally, physically, do the self-work. Make the money. Become the greater human. Be the savage, be the servant, become human being, and kill your inner human animal. Get outside, connect, create, explore, find and win your financial freedom. Become a stoic warrior. Get lean and jacked. Become battle ready, the battle for life. Raise good children. Make better decisions. Understand that you are in charge of your choices. No one else is in charge of your choices. You control your choices, your effort, and your attitude in life. Those are the three things that you can control without doubt. Everything else around you can go wrong, but you can control your choices, your effort, and your attitude. Love up your family. Love up your family. I can't imagine that someone died on their deathbed and they said, man, I should have played more video games. As they were dying, I should have hung out with my retarded homies more. I should have made more money. Like, the only regret people have is that I didn't spend more time with my family. I didn't love up my family more. The love wasn't deep enough. And if you can learn these lessons, these lessons so early on in life before it's too late, then you can go and infect others. Never peak. Don't ever get to that place where you go, well, man, I've peaked and I'm 40 years old. Fuck that. Never peak. The best is yet to come. You know that line from my book. And that line is very true. Continue to evolve, continue to grow, continue to love, continue to explore, continue to earn, continue to change, continue to impact, continue to touch more lives. Because you, my friend, are an agent of change, and we are doing this together. We are a fucking tribe. We are a community. And the only way our community is going to be able to impact the world and create the change that we want to see in the world is if each and every single one of you, if each and every single one of us go and impact more lives. And you don't do that, by the way, by just saying, hey, you know, you ought to go do this. First way you do that is you become the role model. You role model. You become a role model of what a fucking awesome man is. And people will start taking notice. Like, that guy, he's fucking got swagger. That guy, he's fucking got the juice. One, role model what a successful, good man is.